What's going on this week? What can we talk about? Have you seen Love on the Spectrum?
No.
No, I haven't seen the new season, but my sister's obsessed, and she's like, "You need to watch it."
People are obsessed with it. I watch Love is Blind.
I know you love Love is Blind. I like to go to old shows because then if I fall asleep, then I don't feel like I need to like pay attention.
Yeah, I don't watch good shows. I'm not somebody you come to is like, what's a good show? I watch crap because at the end of the day, I'm brain dead and that's all I want. I want to just fall
It's
asleep.
better than Maury. Maury watches like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
No, I mean, I don't watch that crap, but like, yeah, I watch like romantic comedy stuff. I like romantic comedy.
I like that too. Okay, wait, we have to think about something that's going on.
Actually, my son is like afraid of movies. He just like doesn't want to watch movies. He says he's not a movie person.
Wait, elaborate more. You mean at the theater or like sitting and
Oh, he
watching?
definitely doesn't want to go to the theater ever. And when we're like, okay, movie night,
Well, he's
like,
still 8. I didn't take my son until I think we took him when he was 9 or 10.
by the way, I don't really go to the movies. I like to watch everything online anyway.
Yeah, but it's for the experience,
Yeah. But
elaborate more. You mean he likes a TV show better than a movie?
he likes sports, so he just wants to watch, and there's always sports on. Anything that's on sports, like he loves to watch.
I don't mind that. I think
Or Jeopardy. He loves to watch Jeopardy.
Is Jeopardy still on?
Do you live under a rock?
Okay, but you shush.
Yes,
Okay.
Alex Trebek died, which was devastating.
I knew that. That I knew.
And then they did like a little like competition, I guess, for the hosts. Like they tried to figure out who would be the best host, and they landed
who's the
on.
host?
Why am I blanking on his name? He's the one who like won Jeopardy like a million times.
Oh, then I'm not going to know his name, so there's no point in telling me. Okay, so some like rando? Don't look it up.
Oh my God, now I have to because like I can't.
This is Emily's thing that she has to look something up when she can't figure it out.
Oh, please, like you don't do this. I love that you're throwing me under the bus. So you have no Ken Jennings. Okay, Ken Jennings is the new host. He's very good, actually. He does a good job. And they named it the Alex Trebek Studio, which is very nice. I feel like it's
so funny. Going back to the movies thing,
third graders do well at Jeopardy because it's like all the stuff they're learning at school. Like the stuff we forgot about because like we learned it in third grade. Like they're currently learning and they're like, hey, I know that answer, or about rocks or whatever.
You're so funny. Anyways, the movie thing, I'm not super concerned because I don't like to introduce like a family movie night until kids are 9. And it's something fun that you can kind of set up and you guys like can make. Like we make popcorn or we make Pamela Solzman's sweet potato brownies or whatever we make together and sit down as a family. And then what we do on the other night is we do board game night. And that's something you can do now is board games. Board games are great.
Yeah, we do Rummikub. I think that
but like, have like a little.
We have our own thing, like for big like sports baseball games. We make like hot dogs and whatever. The good Dr. Organic Mommy like approved Teton.
The Force of Nature or the Teton, yeah.
Do you like the Teton?
Yeah.
That's the one we buy. They sell them at Costco.
I do know. I know. I saw that. That was very cool.
All right. So I think we can move to the product of the week now.
Product of the week? Oh, those Force of Nature meatballs.
Dude. Yes. Those are so good
to have in your freezer.
We're going to do a Reels on that. They're the best thing.
A Reels like where I fall out of bed and I don't know what to make kind of thing?
So not you, but yeah.
No, I can say like when I haven't slept, like that is me. Like when I haven't had a night where like I've been struggling to sleep lately just because I just have too much to do.
It's such a good go-to. I highly recommend you find them.
They're actually very good.
And my son loves them, and I put them in his lunchbox, or we do them for dinner.
It's you like order them direct. I couldn't find them.
I would look it up, but you would make fun of me.
Okay, fine. We can add it to the little linky thing. What do you call it?
Show notes.
Sure, whatever. Ooh, the real paper towels. I love them. And they gave us a discount code. So very excited about that.
I know, really exciting. And they're coming back in stock soon, they said, but they're sold at Target. Uh, so stock up. You got me into the plant paper, toilet paper. I will say,
And their tissue paper. I love their tissue paper.
is that tissues or is that what you call toilet paper?
No, two different things like Kleenex
Tissues.
brand, like tissue.
Okay, so tissues and then toilet paper. Some people call toilet paper tissue paper.
No, they don't.
They do.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Tissue paper is what you use to wipe your nose with. Toilet paper is what you use to
I
wipe
don't
your
think this
butt.
episode's going very well. Anyway,
Uh,
the
okay.
plant paper, toilet paper. I thought this is no pun intended. Like it's got to be so rough, and I
No,
can't.
it's soft. It's good. I mean,
It's
you have to
totally
get used
soft.
to
It
it because it's
totally.
not white.
But now that what we know about toilet paper and the toxins and the things that are in it, it's like
Bleaching and the PFAS, all
hard
that.
to go back.
Exactly. Can't
All
switch back.
right.
And my hubby's now a converter. He's like, oh, I don't like this toilet paper. Like when we travel and I don't bring the toilet paper, he's like, it falls apart. Or he's like, oh, I don't like it.
I know. It's a thing. Well, I will say I haven't switched to the tissues yet, what I call tissues, what you call tissue paper.
What do you call, wait, just to be clear, what do you call the paper that you use to wipe your nose with?
Tissues. That's it. No extra words in there.
Oh, just tissues, not tissue paper?
Just tissues.
It's
That's what
tissue.
normal people call it.
I don't think so. Okay, whatever. Go.
Anyway, yeah, I haven't switched. I think I don't know. You have a lot of these like plastic container tissue things. They're not plastic container. They must be made of some recyclable material laying around your house.
Oh, the what is it called?
Yeah,
Dr. Dirt.
you love
Yeah, I
those.
put them in my car because
Yeah,
they are smaller and they're compact and they're like the unbleached little tissue
yeah,
papers.
it's not for me. Okay, the topic of the week is introducing a sibling to a baby or a new baby to a sibling and the gifts and the not gifts and the things and the go for it. Give your spiel.
It's a great introduction. So I think the most important thing, at least in my mind, is that 90% of your time is not going to be on the baby. It's going to be on your toddler or your other children. 10% will be on the baby, right? And I think that's counterintuitive for people because they think, oh, the baby's going to take up so much time, which, yes, they do. But in reality, they don't. You will be surprised where they will be just sitting and watching most of the time. This is usually why second, third children are more flexible. They have a higher frustration tolerance because they have to wait. And they're just learning to look at what's going on with the toddler. You do not need to put them in front of a screen if you have to go be with your toddler. Just let them watch. Your toddler, your other child, is fascinating, like to a baby. And so is what you do.
So, how do you do this whole process? Do you do a gift? Give us the whole thing.
So when you bring your other child to the hospital, so when I bring my nephew to meet his little brother, we're not calling it baby or anything like that because sometimes they still think of themselves as the baby. So you just want to be mindful. I like to say brother, sister, or if you don't know what you're having, your sibling, we don't know what's going to be a surprise. And that sometimes is a little bit easier to handle for the child. Like my nephew, he really struggled with the fact that he was having a brother come home. And so unprompted, my nephew says, this is not my baby brother's home. This is my home. My baby brother has to find a different home. So this is very normal. Okay. And the important thing before we get into gifts and how you introduce the sibling and whatnot is to validate their feelings and not try to say, oh, but you're going to love your brother. Don't invalidate it by saying that. You can say, oh, you feel like this is your home only, and it's not your brother's home. You're not sure about sharing it. I get that. That is hard because you have to realize I will give credit to Jill Spivak, who used to tell us this. Um, she would say, it's like your husband bringing home another wife.
Yeah.
And that's the feeling that your child has. Like, well, wait, all my attention's going to be gone. Are you going to sleep with both of us? Like, how's that going to work? So what I said to, I gave feedback to my sister and brother-in-law is to say, you feel like this is your home and it's not your brother's home. You're not sure about sharing it. And I get that. It makes a lot of sense. And you've lived here for so long, or you've lived here your whole life, and everything feels just right the way it is. And just leave it at that. You don't need to go in to try and fix it. Just let them have their feelings about it. So that's the more poignant point. And then I gave them a story to tell my nephew. So this is the story. Once upon a time, there was a little star child getting ready to come down to earth. The star child looked and looked for the perfect place, a home full of love, and a big brother to show him the way. He saw a cozy house and a shining big brother who knew all the best songs, everything about baseball and gardening, and he said, "That is the home I choose." And so he began his journey to come and be with them. And
Oh,
so, like, you can tailor to what, they like, and we'll put that little story in the script, and you can write it down. It's better not to read it from your phone, but write it out, and you can tell that story for a week or whenever he feels like he wants to hear about the star child coming.
amazing.
So, as far as a gift, yes, it's important to have a gift, but the more important thing is when you bring your other child to the hospital, or even if you're delivering at home, to not be holding the baby, to either have dad or have the baby in like a bassinet,
Hmm.
because you want to be excited. They haven't seen you. It's been a little while. And the thought of having to share you and have someone new come into your home when they've had their home to themselves this whole time is very hard for them to.
I feel like that's a really good tip that most people don't do.
Yeah, they're holding the baby and they come in, they're like, well, who's this creature that my mom has? Like, well, that's messed up. I just want to throw them across the floor and I want to get in my mom's arms, right? And that's kind of what they're thinking. So that's one tip. Next, what I love to have is a picture of the child. So I will have a picture of my nephew in the little bassinet. And I'll say, your brother has been staring at your picture, has been so excited to meet you. Obviously, that's after you give big cuddles and say hi to them and, ask them everything. And you want to know all about what's going on with them, right? And give them that special 5 minutes, even 10 minutes of quality time, just you and him, or whoever the child is, right? Placing this in terms of my sister and my nephew. And then you can kind of go and show the picture of him inside his little brother's bassinet, right? And then you can say, and he brought you a gift because he was so excited to meet you. And you can hand them the gift and they can spend time opening the gift up. And then when they're ready, you can say, whenever you're ready, you may go and peek at your brother. You may touch his toes, just like we practiced. And that's something I like to do beforehand, is get a little doll where they practice and we touch brother's toes, or we touch siblings' toes, so they know not to put their hands all over their face. And give it time before you say, do you want to hold your brother? Do you want to hold him and carry him? Don't quite push that.
That's
Go
interesting.
slow. Pay attention to the cues. If they seem interested in the brother, and then go for it. But if they seem like they're completely disinterested, don't push it. Now, one question that my sister had is, well, if he comes to visit the hospital, isn't he going to have a hard time leaving and going back with you when I'm still staying in the hospital? Because she's having a C-section, right? And I said, it's not going to be hard, but I am going to make it exciting. So yeah, we're probably going to go get ice cream and make it a fun day where we get to go have fun, where mom has to sit in this uncomfortable bed and just not have fun and eat
Right.
hospital food.
In your blog, you said when a toddler leaves the hospital to go back home with family members, try to have an exciting or engaging activity to motivate them.
Yeah, so something that they get to look forward to. That's just something that they get to do with you or the family member, grandma, grandpa, whatever.
Another thing that you didn't bring up was that you put in there, let your child sing one of their favorite songs too.
That's also, yeah. So when you're gauging and looking at how your child's interacting or viewing their sibling, that's something that they can do that doesn't involve necessarily touching the child if they're not ready yet.
Got it. And one of the things that you've often talked about to help prevent with sibling rivalry is, especially if you're breastfeeding, are your Dr. Organic Mommy feeding boxes. Not something you sell, but something you teach people how to make. So I feel like you should
And
get into that.
this is super easy. It's not expensive.
And
Literally
I
take this
really do think,
box.
knowing your family, that that helps so much. There's not that sibling rivalry that you see in other families. So
Yeah.
explain it.
So it's really simple. It's, you can just grab a shoebox if you want and throw in some different activities. Like I themed them, so I made like 3 of them. Uh, and I did like a science one, I did a gardening one, and you can put in, like, my son at the time when I had my oldest daughter, he was super into construction. So I did little construction vehicles, I did little plants in there, and I did little road tape inside the box, and I put rocks in there and pine cones so he could kind of make a whole scene with it, right? And then the science one had like glow in the dark stickers on the top, and it had like a little rocket. And you can just put some different figures or things in there to kind of theme it. And so when you use those feeding boxes, when I was nursing, I would never try to say, well, I can't be with you because I have to feed
The
your
baby.
sister, the baby. You never want to say any of that. Oh,
And we don't
I'm
say the baby. We learned about 10 minutes
yeah,
ago. Yeah.
maybe. And obviously play it by ear. Like some kids are easier and can hear that, and some kids can't. But what you want to say is, I'm so excited to be with you. I just have to get all of the milk out of my breast to give to your brother. And as soon as I'm done doing that, then you and I can do XYZ. What should we do together? I'd give them 2 options. Should we do this or should we do that? So that way they have something to look forward to. Now, while I'm doing this, you may go get one of the feeding boxes and you may go play with it. You don't have to call it a feeding box. You can call it like the science box or whatever you want to call it.
Your
And
magical
you may
box.
play with that, right? The magic box, whatever. But the key is that they only get to play with it while you're nursing or giving a bottle
So it's
to.
special.
So it's very special, so it doesn't lose its novelty. And you'll say, as soon as I'm done, you have to stop playing with that so we can go play together. And some of the times it would happen where they were continuing to play and they didn't want to stop. And that would be fine. And I would be able to do other things like clean up a little bit in the nursery and tend to the other child when rub them down with cream or do a little baby massage, whatever. And so it gave me some time. And if not, then I was able to just go play with them and I put the baby like in the carrier, or I'd put the baby on the mat and have him watch us, or have her watch us rather, or in the little baby BR bouncer, which is the only like device that I really like. I don't like the swings. I'm not a big fan of the bumbos, really don't like the bumbos, but swings, I just don't think they're necessary. And a child learns so much more when they're just laying on their back and looking up.
But that's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother podcast. But anyways,
On the sibling rivalry topic, because I feel like you've brought up some great things that are so important, like the baby thing, the feeding boxes, all these small things can contribute to preventing long-term sibling rivalry. Another thing that you brought up in the past is the fact that oftentimes you'll have relatives or family friends around who are like, wow, the baby took their first step, or the baby
they're
turned for
so
the first time,
cute.
or
They're
they're
just so
so
yummy.
cute. And like, what do you say in front of their older sibling to help prevent that sibling rivalry?
I'd say you're right. They are so cute. And this is so and so's little brother. Oh, he is doing such an amazing job helping to take care of him. Or he went and got the diapers for me, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without his help. And just talking about the older child kind of in front of them, not saying it to the child. So I would say, like, to my sister when she was coming to visit me, oh, my son has been such a great help, and I really don't think I could have done it without him. I was struggling to feed his sister, and she had pooped at the same time, and he ran and got me the diaper and the wipes, and it was just so much help. And then something else you can do besides talking about them to the relative or friend or whoever that's visiting is to let them know, oh, I remember when you learned to crawl. Do you want to see a video of that? Or your sister has the biggest cheeks, and I remember you had the squishiest little thighs. Can I show you a picture of that? And so that way they don't feel like they're not involved, and then you can kind of look back too to see what it was like with them. And they love seeing that. And you'll see that kids, as they get older, they just love hearing stories about themselves. They love learning about you when you were a kid as they get older. But something I wanted to mention, because this happened with my nephew and they were struggling, like he didn't even want to go into his brother's room, was to have them help set it up.
Before the baby comes.
Before the baby comes. And so I say, oh, I need your help. I have so many diapers to put away. Do you think you can help me? You don't even have to wear diapers anymore. It's so cool. You don't have to wear diapers, but your brother's going to have to wear diapers. And so he got really excited because he got to put the diapers away and he was more into it. And he kind of stopped talking about the fact that he didn't want his brother to live at his house anymore.
I love that. That's
and then something I did with my own kids, I made their siblings' room much more exciting. Like we could jump in there and put all the pillows on the floor and make it very fun, which of course kind of backfired a little bit on me when I was nursing my daughter. No, this was my third child. When I had my third child, I was nursing my daughter and my sister came over and was trying to help me get the other two dressed and ready for bed. And they just thought it was so fun to destroy the room with her.
That's what they're used to in there.
That's what they were used to. But she was struggling so much and they were just throwing the diapers. She's like, wait, don't do this. This is before she had kids. She's like, wait, stop. And that because she was laughing so much, they were laughing and they thought it was the funniest thing ever. Anyways, sorry.
I love it. I think we did this. Is there anything else that you want to include?
Well, let us know if you have questions down below. Maybe we can also link the hospital bag.
We'll link the feeding boxes and all the introducing the new sibling stuff that you have, because you have a lot of content on your website.
Great. Sounds good.
Okay.
This podcast does not constitute medical advice or recommendation. Please consult your doctor. Thank you.